So just can you start by introducing yourself, your name, your class, position, and where you're
Niko Lelos. I'm a 20, play defensive end, and I'm from Akron, Ohio.
from? How long have you been playing football?
Um, for about 12 years, since I was 8 years old.
Why did you get into football?
Um, it's a good question. I always had a strong interest in it, even as a young boy, I guess. I mean, just kind of was like naturally drawn to it. Very, very curious about it. I don't know, just piqued my interest.
Was there any influence by your parents or family?
No, not really. Um, my mom didn't really want me to play it at first. Um, so it's kind of just more like self curiosity, I guess.
Did they expect you to be an athlete, like your parents?
Um, kinda. I don't know. My mom didn't really care. She said, "Just do whatever you like. I mean, whatever makes you happy."
So your parents have been fine if you decided not to be an athlete. You just, for instance, wanted to go do photography or become an actor or stuff like that.
Yeah.
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 So, based off of what you know, um, what does the term masculinity mean to you?
Um, that's a good question. Masculinity is kind of like, I don't know, like a rough, like tougher, I guess, adjective. I guess it could be more associated with the male like attributes, I guess. Um, don't necessarily like want to generalize, but kind of like along those lines.
Do you see football as a masculine sport?
Um, yeah, definitely got to be like tough and just kind of. Is there a lot of aggression? I feel like there's a lot of aggression in the sport. I guess that would go along with masculinity definition. I feel like, um, yeah, for the most part, good.
Can you like expand on like in what ways like what do you have to do in football that makes it masculine?
Um, there's just like a lot of force, aggression, and like toughness involved in football. Um, I'd say one of the biggest thing would be force and aggression and like kind of focusing that because like in other sports like if you're like golf or something you can't be like super aggressive or else you wouldn't have a good swing in golf. You like it's more so just kind of like a brute force sport.
So based off of that, what are the implications of this for women who play sports or who want to play football? Is it alright for them to, show these traits of being masculine?
Yeah, I think it's totally alright if they're comfortable doing it, playing the sport, following the kind of preset like characteristics of the game. Um, yeah, I mean I don't see any issue with it.
Do you feel like women's teams are different as an aspect of, rugby, for instance, women's rugby? Like, is that you feel that that's a pretty masculine sport for a female?
Yeah, I guess so because I mean you have to be pretty tough to play rugby. All those girls are pretty tough. I mean, our rugby team's really good. Um, I definitely don't think I could play rugby, even like regardless, just because like I feel like not having the helmet or any of the equipment really, you just gotta be a little bit tougher to handle that, I guess.
Do you think there's pressure to appear masculine as an athlete on the football team and around your teammates?
Um, mm, somewhat. In the football, if you're specifically asking in the football aspect, I could totally see it being one of the things kind of like called for, just because of like the nature of the game. But I wouldn't necessarily say it correlates to like your success rate. I mean, there's definitely like guys that aren't like super masculine, but like are still great football players.
Do you, personally act differently around your teammates than what you do around other people because of this, masculine trait that you have to somewhat have, to play football?
Yeah, I'd say so. There's definitely a little bit of a discrepancy in between like how you act like on the field versus how you are just with like regular everyday people. Just based off the sport, you always like, I guess you just want to seem like tougher because you don't want your opponent to think they can overpower you and beat you, I guess you could say. But like in a general sense, like off the field, like there's no point in like always having that mentality because like it can come off as like mean or like not very socially acceptable, I guess you could say.
So how would you think an openly gay player would be received on the team?
Can you specify what you mean by perceived?
Would they be accepted? Would, the person be bullied?
I think
how would they
that's.
be accepted on the team?
I think that completely depends on from person to person. I mean, for me, like if the he's a good football player, like that's what he's there to do. I mean, how he presents himself and to like everyone else is kind of like his own decision. Like all I can really control is like how much effort and what he tries to do to contribute to the team aspect of the sport on the field.
So would you still be, able to talk to this teammate like you would another teammate on the team?
I think so. I mean, like kind of just when you think about it, just in sports, it's kind of I don't know, one-dimensional. You're just kind of focused on one thing, and that's probably like to win or to get better. But like, and kind of bringing in someone's like sexual orientation is kind of like irrelevant. I feel like in this context of winning, because I feel like it doesn't really have anything to do with how good of a football player you could be.
Are there any negative aspects about masculinity or the culture of football that you wish could be different?
That's a good question. Off the top of my head, I don't think so, because that means I'd want the sport to change, and if I want the sport to change, that means I don't like what it is right now, and I'd say I still like the sport how it is right now. So off the top of my head, I can't think of anything.
No stereotypes, nothing that other people may see the football team as.
Oh, like stereotypes? Yeah.
Like anything, like, the aspects of the culture. It doesn't have to be internally, just.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about like the masculinity thing still. But I don't know, I feel like there's like the stereotype, like athletes just in general are just like not as smart as everybody else. I feel like that's common misconception. I know tons of guys on the team and tons of guys of all sports that are brilliant. Stuff like that, I guess, probably one of them.
So you feel that, player on the team can share those like aspects, those traits, and still be, masculine on the team?
What do you mean by those traits?
Those traits, smart,
Yeah.
You know how like a lot of people stereotypes, a jock, for instance.
Right.
Masculine football player who's, a jock usually is perceived as not doing too well in the school.
Yeah, I could totally see someone who's smart still being a good football player. I mean, there's tons of those examples. Is that what you're asking for? Like, you can have both best of both worlds or best both attributes and still be successful. Yeah, I agree with that.
Is there anything else about masculinity in football or athletics in general that you like to share? Anything that you thought of from this interview, perhaps?
Not really. I mean, I guess thinking about it, I guess we could probably just. Ooh, I don't even know. It got me thinking, but not enough to like kind of put it into words yet.
You good? All right.
Oh, wait. Could we get one more time, because the introduction, the name, class, position, it was kind of, we were kind of looking this way, and I'd like to get it so that it's even between the
Okay.
three of you.
Just the intro?
Because I think we're going to go where it's just the three of them back to back. So could you read that off one more time while
Yeah.
kind of looking at Charles?
You want me to look at Charles?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
sorry. I didn't
name,
know I wasn't
class,
allowed to.
was it name, class, position, where you
Yeah,
from?
I'll say it
Oh.
off again. Can you just start by introducing yourself, your name, your class, position, and where you're from?
Niko Lelos, class of 2020, defensive end from Akron, Ohio.